It's your boy, the Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again, and this is Gleipnir, episode 3. Boy, oh boy, some stuff went down, man. It wasn't super action-packed, but some stuff went down. They got a little character development part going on between Shuichi and Claire, and it was a little informative, and then like right there at the end, it started to pick up dramatically. Let's get into it, man.
Just take it, don't wait for someone to break it. Take control, then don't just take it, hey. You can make it happen, you just gotta take some action. Take the ship and be the captain.
Boy, oh boy, man, this week's episode was absolutely boss. Like I said, wasn't super action-packed, but it got very, very informative, and it was very, very character development driven. Now, let's get to the information. The information we got this episode was legit, because this week's episode, it didn't kind of start off or kind of connect to last week's episode. It started off on its own thing, and we see the guy that's looking for the coins, looking at a coin and using a cell phone, trying to see if technology can pick up the coin itself. It does not. So he says he has to constantly use human beings to locate the coins. And then he says the people on this planet are very, very helpful. So, anybody that's transformed, or the coins themselves, and the dude that's looking for the coins are from another world. We don't have to say alien, but they are from another world. Well, I mean, I guess that still technically clarifies as alien, but like could be like from another dimension or something too. But they're from another world. Now, that within itself is legit, but they didn't talk about it too much. It was just like a nice intro to the episode. They gave us that tidbit of information, then the opening came on, and then we just jumped to something else completely, which was a little upsetting because I needed more. They can't just tell me that this dude is from another world and then just go into something else. But I'm okay with that. Now, this week's episode, we see Shuichi and Claire. It's very character development driven for me, because we see them trying to work out the kinks and see how the movement and mobility is going to work with Claire inside Shuichi. But also we get to see Claire opening up to Shuichi a little bit, giving us a little bit more about her sister and her family and what happened to her. And we all learned that was 6 months ago. And for Shuichi, we talk about his family a little bit. We don't really give much detail, but we talk about it a little bit, and then we kind of just move on. But it was character development for me for the characters themselves. We see Shuichi and Claire both kind of having moments and scenes throughout this episode where they were just staring at each other, or they mentioned how cool each other were, and they kind of opened up to each other a little bit. And granted, they're in this whole situation that they're in because they committed a crime and there's monsters and everything involved, but they decided to work together, so they're in it together. Now, what I love is because this episode, granted, they're looking for Claire's sister this episode, but we see a deeper connection to Shuichi and Claire. We see them, at the beginning, trying to figure out the mobility of Shuichi when he transforms and Claire is inside him, and we see the whole comedic part taking place. And like I said last week, the ecchi comes into the series at comedic times, and I love that because when it gets serious, the ecchi is the furthest thing away from it, but when it's comedic, the ecchi is at its core, and I love that. I think the ecchi is what makes it funny, along with the simple characteristics of the characters, but the ecchi is adds into the comedy of the show. But when it gets serious and they're focusing on like serious aspects and serious parts of the show itself and the characters and everything, there's no ecchi involved in that part. But we see Claire getting naked to dive inside of Shuichi, and Shuichi's like, "Why are you getting naked?" She was like, "It's stuffy inside you, so I gotta be naked. I can't have on clothes, and my clothes will get all ruined." And it was like, so she started to strip to her underwear. He was like, "Do you have to be in your underwear?" And then she was like, "Yeah, but I'm taking these off too, so they don't get messed up." And he's like, you can see him looking and peeping at this. He's like, he want to close his eyes and not see it, but then he's like, he got his fingers wide open and he's looking. And it's fun. And then we see them trying out different movements and everything. So we see Claire can move it, but Shuichi can move it as well. And we also learned that if Shuichi's moving it and Claire wants to stop him, she seems to have more control over it than he does. But the whole episode is spent them deciding to search for her sister because she found some of her sister's clothing. She had it sealed up, and she wanted Shuichi to smell it to see if he can get any kind of hints, because he has a good sense of smell on her sister or anybody closely related to her sister that can give them any kind of hints of where she is. And at that, we find out that a lot of people have died, and Shuichi smelt the death off of the clothing. But at that time, we kind of dive into the Claire's backstory as well, with them deciding to hold a stakeout. We see Claire, like a brief little flashback of Claire telling Shuichi about her sister and her coming home one day 6 months ago. Her coming home one day, and she saw that this shadowy figure, and it seemed like her sister, and her family's house was crushed and demolished. Now, granted, she doesn't have really any evidence. It's all circumstantial, but we did see the bodies crushed under the building. I don't know if anybody else seen it, but I saw a hand that was crushed from under the building, and her sister was standing there. Now, granted, there's not much to go on, but it could be a little true, or it could not be. We don't know. We have to find her sister, and that's what this episode was focusing on. So with them having a stakeout, they decided to talk and and it just kind of get closer together as companions in this endeavor that they're on. So that's where we learn about Shuichi's parents a little bit, and he's not really close to his family. They talk, but that's about it, and he kind of keeps them at arm's length, and he definitely wants to keep them there now because of everything that's going on. He doesn't want to get them involved. And while they're on a bench outside a convenience store having a wonderful time getting to know each other a little better, since they've already seen each other transform and be naked, a car passes by, and it's the girl from his school that might have saw him transform on top of the roof back in episode 1. So I feel like she's definitely going to come back into play in the series later on. Now, they're having the stakeout, and they're talking about going to the movies in the mall the next day because they hit a bust staking out the place where they were looking for her sister. And in that moment, when they decided to leave, Shuichi gets a smell, and off steps off the train is a girl, and it has the same smell as the clothing. And so we're scrambling, we're looking, and we're trying to see because they keep giving us different shots. Claire's running down a hallway to see who it is, and lo and behold, it's her sister. In episode 3, we come in contact with her sister. So then we come in contact with her sister. She tries to kill her. Shuichi stops her, and her sister is apologetic. She's nothing like what we've been told from Claire. She's super apologetic. She's sorry. She's very contempt. She's very different from what Claire informed us about her sister. But as we going on, she was like, well, please don't kill me here. Let's kill me somewhere more private or whatever. So they started to walk and everything. And in that moment, she decides to tell... Wait. Well, before that, she mentions that she's sorry to Shuichi because she knows that that's him that's transformed. Now, if I go back, I'm thinking that... I'm trying to remember. I may have to watch episode 2 again. But I could have sworn the girl with the glasses in the convenience store is the one that turned Shuichi into the... She made a wish with the dude, and that turned Shuichi into the little toy teddy dog or whatever. But this episode, it felt like, I want to say her name is ELAINE or ELAINE or whatever. She says she's sorry and everything, and mentions that she's the one that done it. I may have to go back and watch episode 2, but I could be wrong. But if she's the one that done it, then who is the girl with the glasses? Or was that her? And she changed since she made a wish and turned into this monster as well. I don't know. I need more information. I'm very confused. But also, anyway, she apologizes to Shuichi, and next thing you know, Claire can't hold back her contempt. Claire is super angry, and Claire mumbles some words like, what? And her sister flips out, and that's when this whole episode completely changed. Like, it wasn't nice and melodramatic like it was like throughout this whole episode, and we see them kind of building up a nice relationship and everything. It was none of that no more. It's like, let's say we were going at like 10 miles per hour throughout this whole episode. At that moment, we jumped straight up to 100 miles per hour because she was like, is there a girl in there? Is there a girl in there? What are you doing in there? That place is reserved for me. And the next thing you know, she turns into her whole monster form again, and she snatches off Shuichi's hand. Now, granted, he's the main character along with Claire and probably her sister as well. I don't see him dying, but just to have it happen nonetheless is freaking crazy. And then that's how this episode ends. Manga readers, I know you guys know exactly what's popping off, but for us anime only watchers, this is legit crazy, because it went from 10 to 100, and I'm loving every single minute of it, man. That's everything that happened this episode. This is your boy Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.
Are we gonna play now? Ready for the show? I'm about to take down, you already know. Get the fuck out of my face now, yeah, you gotta